I don't see too many podcasts doing this, not too sure why. With my background in radio, news, television, you name it, I have been in it. I have bought a huge learned strategy into the podcast production world that I learned over there. I'm gonna teach you how to craft an intro for your podcast to hook new and niche listeners in and boost your conversion rate for your podcast. I do the exact same strategy, but I implement it in podcast format. This is how you're gonna do it. Hello and welcome to another episode. On this episode, I'm going to teach you how to craft an intro for your podcast to hook new and niche listeners in and boost your conversion rate for your podcast. A huge key of how I've been able to launch clients' podcasts, revamp pre-existing podcasts, and create high conversion episodes is a huge part of it is how I structure out the intros. Most podcasts either start out with music, some have a pre-recorded intro, which I do not recommend, or some just get right into the episode. With my background in radio, news, television, you name it, I have been in it. I have bought a huge learned strategy into the podcast production world that I learned over there. And that strategy has been my secret in growing podcasts. If you notice an example show like Good Morning America or any news channel, morning news channel that you could think of, before they go to a commercial break, you'll notice the host says, "Coming up next," or "Stick around for," and on the screen, they'll show you highlights of the next segment that is coming up. So I do the exact same strategy, but I implement it in podcast format. And this is how you're gonna do it. What I do is that I listen to the full episode, and as I am listening to it, the raw episode that is, what I do is I pick out 3 or so highlights or sound bites from the episode, and I bring them right to the beginning of the episode because my goal is to hook in listeners and keep them listening. This strategy has been proven to work for decades because, example, going back to the news, when they do it, you stick around and watch because now your interest is piqued and you want to hear more. So when editing your episode, keep an ear out for a really, really good soundbite, or even better, which I love using this, is a really good cliffhanger. You are going to bring all of this stuff that you just handpicked out from your episode all the way to the beginning of your episode, and you are going to use a very, very tight editing style. So this is a different editing style than what's in the actual episode, because going back to it, your actual episode should always sound like that someone is eavesdropping on a FaceTime call or a really good conversation. This beginning segment is not going to sound like that. It is a very, very tight, concise editing style. So cut out all the ums, the stutters, the pauses, things like that, because we need to hook in the attention right away, and time is obviously very precious, and give the audience a reason to keep listening. And with this strategy, I also add under music in the intro to the episode. This makes it very clear that it's an intro and not just a mumble jumble of you're just starting the podcast and no one can really make sense of it. And a quick tip is make sure that your intro music matches the vibe of your show. So example, I have a client that has a very serious and dark podcast, so their intro is a little deep, a little more dramatic, but I wouldn't use something that's very upbeat and uplifting for their intro. Does not make sense. So I have been implementing this intro strategy ever since I edited my very first podcast. It is proven to work in all media types, long form, short form, and I don't see too many podcasts doing this, not too sure why. So try implementing this strategy into your future episodes and see your audience retention rate and conversion rate skyrocket. If you're looking to grow your podcast or you want more media tips on how to grow your personal brand, your business, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me so much. It lets me know that the content I'm delivering is actually valuable. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe, leave me a comment, any question, or even reach out to me at my email in the description below. And I will see you in the next episode.